Welcome to TLAfrica Rwanda office. My name is Felistus, Project Manager, TLAfrica Rwanda. I'm here with Dr. Jacenta, who came in for a counseling training that just ended. And I'm happy to have her and have a small interview with her. Dr. Jacenta, welcome to Rwanda.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to know, you were once my professor at AIU, and I would like to know how you got connected to TLAfrica and how you wrote the manual Helper Within Reach for TLAfrica.
Thank you. That is a good question, actually. Yes, I think I was invited by one of my friends whom we used to study with, Reverend Tor. And he just informed me that Flora was looking for someone to do the work. And because he knew that I was teaching introduction to psychology, guidance and counseling, so he asked, would you just come in and we see what is going to happen? It was something that I really wanted to do, but I didn't know how to begin. So for me, it was an exciting thing. I came in, and that is how I got connected. To my surprise, I got to know that because I knew Prof earlier, I didn't know it was connected to him. But I really got excited that it is Professor Faustin that was mentoring us to do the work. That is how I got connected.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. You have emphasized that the book touches the African soul. Could you share an example how African culture reality, like community, traumas, and traditional belief have been woven into the counseling approaches you propose?
That's a tricky question, but let me try to answer it. When you're talking about these counseling approaches and blending it with the African realities, when you look at the world with the African worldview, it determines our way of life. And our way of life is so connected to how we solve our issues. So, for example, for us in Africa, there's nothing that happens without a reason. For example, if there is a sudden death, people will always imagine there are some other powers behind that. So what I mean by integrating that into this process is actually the counselor getting to know the African context, that we are a communal society, and that everything that happens to an individual, most of the time it affects the family and affects the community. So any solution or intervention a counselor would maybe go through with the counselee, it has to be like collaborative, and it has to be like, a communal thing. Because sometimes if you want to support someone, even the intervention, the community and the family has to come in for support. Yeah.
So, why is it important that a counseling training for African pastors be rooted in both African and biblical perspective, rather than just borrowing Western frameworks?
Yeah, I've been doing counseling, and one of the things I've found out is that it is very important for us to know our African context, and at the same time know the biblical perspective. Because most, if we are to solve our issues, you've got to reach people to what they know. Like in the context, you have to understand people's needs from our context. Because if you bring in the Western way of doing it, yes, it is helpful, but it may not really like touch our issues. Like so we so much believe in spirits, we so much believe in the issues of collaboration in a communal kind of a thing. So it's very tough for someone who doesn't really understand the African context. So and then for us, not only the African context, we have to integrate it with biblical principles, because they are also African context, some of the cultural things that we have to maybe get rid of, and maybe just look at the Bible and contextualize it according to our context.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. What have you found to be most transformational part of this course for students who have gone through it, and there are any testimony that have stayed with you?
Actually, like the counseling skills. This is one of the things that I found very transformative for the students, because people have been giving advice, people have been telling people what to do, but you see, when we learn the skill of listening, especially of empathy, many of them have come to know that it's not just about you deciding for the students, or for the counselee that is, but it's for them to make their own decision. So like I've had testimonies not only here, but even when we went to the Higa for this same kind of training, people where they confess that they would rush to a solution, they would rush to giving advice, but learning the skills have really helped them to know that they need to listen to the issues before they even think of how to help the countries to come up with their own solutions.
You mentioned that these courses prepare learners for more advanced counseling training. How do you envision a pathway for African pastors to grow in this field, both academically and practically? And is there any advanced training available to the pastors that TLAfrica is training?
Wow, yeah, maybe let me begin with the last one. There's no advanced course right now in TLAfrica, but probably they will come, and maybe in the days to come. It's our prayer that comes. But this is just basic handling skills. So even when we were sharing with our participants, there was a need for people to advance, because for me, I think we're just helping them to have the basic skills, but it's like creating a thirst in them to go further and get engaged in more deeper training in counseling skills. Yeah, so right now we're not offering, but I think it's our prayer that maybe TLAfrica will start offering a diploma in counseling skills, or maybe a degree. So, yeah.
What are some of the common counseling issues that you have seen church members bring to their pastor in African context, and how can this manual help address them effectively?
Wow, there are so many issues. To begin with, there's a lot of unemployment in the African context, and there is also marriage issues. There's issues to do with drug and substance addiction. But let me just talk about poverty. People who do not know what to do, they have skills, maybe in other fields, they are not employed, and they just come and say, I don't know what to do. I can't bring food on the table, I don't know what to do, I can't get employment. You know, this course really helps the pastors to help even the people that are coming, maybe saying they have nothing to eat, to just help them to explore what they can do. You know, when they are listening to them, when they are helping them to see their potential, I think it's one of the helpful courses that can help people even start doing something out there. Because the issue is they have the skills, but sometimes they do not know that they have those skills. But once they go through this course, the skills that are there help the counselor to maybe help the counselee to see their capability, their abilities that maybe in a usual circumstance, because of the challenges that they are going through, they may not be able to see. So this course is very effective and helpful.
Yeah. In the manual, you included a section on ethics in counseling.
Yeah.
What are some of the most urgent ethical challenges African clergy face in pastoral counseling today?
You know, I'm almost bursting in laughter because it comes out severally. You know, the issue of confidentiality. Many people, even when we train, say that, wow, I didn't know that I need to even talk about confidentiality when I'm counseling or I'm advising the people that I'm handling. So, and the issue has been a thorn in the flesh, because someone maybe talks to the counseling come with an issue, they talk to the counselor, but they share what they talked in the counseling room. They break the confidentiality. Some of them have been accused, and actually I've witnessed some of them, you know, give stories like you're preaching in church, and then you start telling stories, and those stories were actually what you doing with the counseling room, which is very unethical. So the issue of confidentiality is such a thing that an ethical issue that people should adhere to, and that one we really emphasize in this conference. Yeah.
As your student, I've seen you, your heart, your dedication towards helping people, helping the church. What have you learned, or what has the process transformed your personal life?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've learned so much through this process of doing the manual and the process of teaching the same content. I think what has transformed in me is to know the uniqueness of biblical counseling, where I do not just depend on myself, I do not just depend on the theories that are there, but I depend on God, I depend on the sufficiency of Scripture, I depend on the Holy Spirit. I can pray quietly in my heart for the counseling when I'm counseling. So really that has really taught me. And then the transformation that I've seen in people. People, you know, who had were wounded in their hearts. And once you go through these skills, through the process of counseling, getting to know the skills, those people actually are transformed. Not because they went through a counseling session, but just learning the skills and just practicing them. Yeah, so I've seen that, and then the last one, maybe no one has, you know, everyone has potential in themselves. The only thing that they need to do is to be helped to see how they can solve their own issues.
Yeah.
That really has transformed who I am, even as I teach and as I continue thinking about the next month. Yeah.
That's a great move.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We were very privileged to have you, and probably you will give us a parting shot.
Let me say that the week has been a good one. We've had a very vibrant teachings, and the participants were very, they were very active. There was a lot of participation, and I think I liked it, the whole thing, having heard from them that some of them had never had any skills in counseling. Some of them have acknowledged that they've been doing it like just advising, and they didn't know any other way to do it. So I'm so impressed that people now are getting to know. We did the practicals and everyone would say, wow, this is not what I've been doing. But now what they promised to change and to do it the right way. And I'm sure the handouts that we've given them will keep on reminding them how to do it in the right way. So I'm really impressed. Thank you, TLRwanda, for having this heart for people and actually planning for this conference. May God bless you so much. Thank you.
Bless you too.